Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of going through a 1971 Topps Vending Box. This is our 12th episode. In the first 11, we've gone through 168 cards this far. Here's some of the cards that we have seen so far. That you can look back in previous episodes to see those draws. I always put something out for luck, and today we have a 1957 Topps, my oldest set that I have, sitting out for luck with one of my favorites, Clemente. And after going through the box, we're going to go do a little deep dive into the 57 set, kind of like we did with the 67 set in episode 10. But let's do our 71 vending. There is the box. We're trying to get about 15 cards each time, kind of like a pack and a half worth of cards. And kind of imagine ourselves in 71 as kids, getting a pack in Series 2, and this is what we get. I'm just seeing these cards, which been in just really gorgeous shape, I think. Real happy with the cards so far. There's a good first baseman on the World Championship team of this year, 1971. Bob Robertson of the Pirates. Pitcher Jim Ray. Got a Hawaiian here, Mike Lum. And not stars, but really nice cards. There's a second baseman on a few World Championship teams, Dick Green. '71, I think, was their first year they made the playoffs out of that A's run, and then the next 3 years they won it all. Bob Watson, he was quite a first baseman player for the Astros. Ended up in an executive role after his playing career. Jim Hannon, we got a Bruce Del Canton, who was a decent pitcher on that Pirates championship team. Like Hirschberger. And Eddie Leone. It's a well-centered card. Nice borders. And it looks like our last one, Bart Johnson. So not any stars in this one. Probably made up for last time when the last one we did in part 11, we got a Carew, we got a Stargell. We got the Cedeno, that was nice. So anyway, let's change gears here and let's go through this 57 set. So this is a set I put together quite a while ago, and when I put together sets back at this time, I put them in teams, and then even within the teams, I put the teams in order of how they finished the prior year. So this would be how they finished in 56, and then I've got their catcher, first base, how did I do it? Second base, shortstop, third base, and then outfielders. Elson Howard was an outfielder yet then. But the Yankees won it all, so they get to be in the front. There's that Mickey Mantle. That's coming off his best year. I mean, he had a lot of really good years, but 56 was his Triple Crown year. And my set probably is like a VG-ish set. Don Larson coming off his perfect World Series game of 56 there. You can see I got the starting pitchers in order too. Whitey Ford was their top pitcher, so Larson was about their third starter, but he had that great World Series. Tony Kubek, he was an announcer when I first started watching baseball, but found out afterwards he had a pretty good career as well. Was a really good shortstop. Bobby Richardson there too. Ralph Terry was a good pitcher. Rocco Calavito, that's his rookie card. Herb Score was a good strikeout pitcher. early in his career and then had arm troubles. That was a great starting staff here of the Indians. Herb Score, Early Win, Bob Lemon, and Mike Garcia. And then the man with the ears, Don Mossy. I think Kelmish Klish had about 5 middle names. Calvin Coolidge, a bunch of other names. Klish. There might be the best double play combination. Maybe Trammell and Whitaker would argue, but Nellie Fox and Luis Aparicio. Maybe the best defensive double play combination, but they were decent hitters as well. Larry Doby. I got 4 Hall of Famers on this page. Larry Doby, Minnie Minoso. Minnie Minoso, I asked my dad later who his favorite players were. He gave the name Minnie Minoso and Marty Marion to show those cards at some other time too. But Minnie Minoso was a really, really good player. Just ended up in the major leagues, came out of Cuba and some Negro League playing, but then ended up first with the Indians. He's like 27 before they really got him going there, but he had some really, really good years. Larry Doby was the first black player in the AL. Earl Batty ended up with a good career. A couple all-star seasons with the Twins. Now the Red Sox here, and there's a Ted Williams. Jimmy Pearsall hit a home run. I think it was his 100th of his career, ran around the bases backwards. Jackie Jensen had an MVP year. Gene Mauch at 64 Phillies. Team that he managed that was so good during regular season and then didn't quite make it. But I don't know if he ever made a World Series. He was with the Angels, the Twins. We got Harvey Keene. There is the first generation of 3-generation major leaguers in Ray Boone. We got the Al Kaline, who is, there's his 71 Kaline in this series. There's Jim Bunning's rookie card, ended up in the Hall of Fame. Really good pitcher. Eddie Robinson, for those of you who haven't heard that, he did that Golden Age of Baseball podcast when he was 100 years old. And that was like last year. I think he died just last year. But that is some of the funnest stuff to listen to, listening to him, fully mentally aware of everything that happened back when he was playing in the 30s and 40s and 50s and just talking about stuff. It was a really fun podcast. We'll get to the Orioles. There's the Brooks Robinson rookie card. 57. And since I got the teams in order how they finished, Washington, there's Mr. Walkman, Eddie Yost. A couple guys who ended up managing. Whitey Herzog had some good years managing. Camilo Pascual was a really good pitcher. Great curveball. Had a lot of strikeouts. And the Kansas City A's. So this is their A's franchise between Philadelphia and Oakland, where they were for, 10 to 15 years, I think. I think they might have been the last place team in the league here. And as you're seeing, not a lot of stars. Then we get to the National League champs, the Brooklyn Dodgers. One of the best catchers of all time in Roy Campanella. Another Hall of Famer there, Gil Hodges. Jim Gilliam was a very good player. Another Hall of Famer here, Pee Wee Reese at shortstop. Duke Snyder, another Hall of Famer. Don Newcomb, I think he's coming off his 27-win season here. More good pitching. Don Drysdale's rookie card. Wasn't in the rotation yet then. Neither was Sandy Koufax, so that's just his third card. Johnny Padres ended up, he was a really good pitching coach. Taught Johan Santana the changeup. Eddie Matthews. So this Braves team, 57, I think they won it all. And then we're in the World Series also in 58. There's that reverse negative Hank Aaron card. No, he wasn't a left-handed hitter. Bobby Thompson, who hit the shot heard around the world in 51. Warren Spahn, I think he's still the winningest all-time left-handed pitcher. Ernie Johnson, those of you don't know, his son is Ernie Johnson that is on the set with Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith in the basketball games and for some baseball too. Juan Pizarro was a really good pitcher. Andy Pafko got that card number 1 in 1952. That's a tough card. Joe Torre's brother Frank. Ted Klaczewski. Might be his coolest card. The no sleeve look. There's another big rookie card. A lot of good rookie cards in 57. Frank Robinson. One of the best of all time. It's a really good right fielder as well as a 500 homer guy, first black manager. He was won a MVP in 66. Gus Bell's another first of 3 generation players. Joe Nuxall was the youngest player ever in the major leagues, 15 years old. Reds, now we're down to the St. Louis Cardinals. All dark. Ken Boyer, that's a rookie card. The Unibrow Man, Wally Moon. I didn't know. Willie Mender was with the Cardinals, but he was with a lot of teams. That's a Hall of Famer. One of his earlier cards. 52 was his rookie. Joe Cunningham was a really good hitter. Right down to the Phillies. Richie Ashburn is a Hall of Famer. Robin Roberts, their Hall of Famer. Harvey Haddix, this is before his perfect game through 12 innings, and then he ended up losing in the 13th. Story on that one, I think the 13th, bottom of the 13th, 0-0 hasn't allowed a base runner. And let's get to the Braves here because it was the Braves batting. We got this man at the plate, Felix Mantilla. He gets on an error. Then they intentionally walk Hank Aaron. And then it is Joe Adcock at the plate. Adcock hits one over the fence, but there's a back fence too, so the balls are like rolling around in between the two fences. Mantilla scores. Aaron doesn't think it's over the fence, but he sees Mantilla score, so he thinks it's over, 1-0, so he just heads to the dugout. Adcock circles the bases, thinking he's got a 3-run homer, but at the time, they took away Aaron's run, called it a 2-run homer, and then later reversed things. I don't know if they had video or what they had back then, but they called Adcock for passing Aaron, took away Adcock's run. Ended up being a 1-0 win, but Haddock still lost his perfect game in the 13th inning. Roy Smalley, his son was a really good shortstop. There's a big card. Willie Mays, maybe the best center fielder of all time, maybe the best player of all time. More New York Giants. This might be the New York Giants last year in New York. Then they moved to San Francisco. Same with the Dodgers. Year they moved to Los Angeles. Dale Long had those 8 homers in 8 days. There's Bill Mazeroski's rookie card. And then one of my favorites, number 21, Roberto Clemente. Dick Groat was a good player. So was Bill Burden. Bob Friend was a good pitcher. The Pirates are down towards the bottom, and then the team that's at the bottom, poor Ernie Banks. This is before his 2 Hall of Fame seasons, but he didn't get to play on a whole lot of good teams with the Cubs, but was a great shortstop. Get to the end. Ernie Banks, I first learned of him because I had a friend who moved from Chicago and moved in, and he collected cards. He was one of the first experience I had of cards. Had a 70 Ernie Banks, and that's how I kind of learned about Ernie Banks. And then they had the 2 cards, one with the Dodgers, one with the Yankees. Mantle on the Yankee card with Yogi Berra. Anyway, that's it for the deep dive into the 57s. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week.